In today's video, we're going to test out a pop can mousetrap. We'll set it up in the barn with motion cameras to see how many mice we can catch. So stay tuned because this is another action-packed episode. Today for Mousetrap Monday, we're going to test out a simple and creative way of catching mice in a can. These are a special attachment that fit inside a regular pop can. You could also use a beer can if you wanted. Now the name is pretty obvious. It's the can mousetrap, the most convenient mousetrap you'll ever use. Right here it says patent pending. It gives a patent number handwritten. That's because this was first patented on May 15th, 2007. And the inventor is Robert Cooper Hanning Jr. of Long Lake, Minnesota. Now I don't know how many of these mousetraps they actually made, but right here it says number 43 out of 67. This is an early prototype. I don't even know if they ever sold these. Being a disposable mousetrap, there may be very few still left, so it's not something you can just go and buy. Now I'm going to pull out these inserts. And you can't get much more simple than that. It's just metal that's bent. Now if we flip it over, it tells you how to set these. Get your pop can, you remove the pull tab. With your finger, bend the flap inside. Put peanut butter on the end that says bait. Insert the baited end in the can. Pull back to clip on the can and push to set. Let's give it a try with a real can. Now I'm not endorsing any specific brand of pop. This is my favorite though, but I'm trying not to drink it. I'm training for a half marathon, and that's a lot of empty calories. We'll go ahead and pull off the tab. Push in the flap. You have to be careful or you'll get a bloody finger. Those are sharp edges. This is pretty small. It's hard to believe a mouse can even squeeze in there, but if they can get their head in an area smaller than a dime, they can get their whole body. So it may be a tight squeeze for a big mouse, but it will work. Now we'll go ahead and put the trap in. You can see where you put the peanut butter for bait. Right here it says deposit, Oregon, 10 cents. These cans are pretty valuable. Now you stick that in. Clip it and push. Boy, that is very simple. The mouse enters, tries to get the bait, and when it does, it will close on it. Now the real question is, can the mouse pull that up or is it stuck forever? We'll see if we can encourage one of our pet mice to squeeze in there. It might be a tight fit. Very tight fit. These pet mice are bigger than wild mice. He's pretty close to getting stuck. Well, our pet mouse hit the trigger and got caught. I'll put him back in his cage, then we'll set this up in the barn with motion cameras and see if we can get wild mice. Okay, come on out. I might have to cut the can to get them out. Let's go get some wild mice. I'm out here in the barn, and tonight we're going to set up two different tests. We're going to see if our can trap can catch mice. We'll put a good amount of peanut butter on the bait hook. Don't want to get that, go in the can and set it off. We'll just clip it in place, push it down. It's all ready. When the mouse hits that, it'll spring forward and the opening's closed. Now I'm also curious if they can fit in the can. So if this doesn't work, I'm just going to use a regular can as a bait station. I'm going to place sunflower seeds inside. I'll also put them in the can trap to bring them in. Let's go set these up with motion cameras and see what happens tonight. When I went to go check the traps this morning, clearly it was a busy night. This one was set off, but no bait is gone and there's no mouse inside, and it was moved. And this one was about 10 feet from where I left it. It had been dragged all over the place, and inside is a bunch of sunflower seed shells. Reminds me of a Little League dugout. So they do like going in the cans, but this one set off too early before they went inside. Now I also want to test out some other ideas I have for catching mice with pop cans. But because they move the cans around so much, I first need to go to the wood shop and build a base that will secure them. So here's the wooden base I made for our 5 different mouse traps. The first one, we're going to put some peanut oil in there. When they drop down, it'll be too slippery and they can't get out. This next one is the tall 16-ounce pop can. We're going to put bait down there, more sunflower seeds, it was such a tight squeeze laying on its side. Hopefully they climb down there and just can't get out. We're also going to try that with a regular pop can. We'll put bait in there. And for our can mouse traps, I have zip ties to keep them from rolling around. Now we have our 5 pop can mouse traps. I have no idea if any of these are going to work. So let's go set up the motion cameras in the barn a second night and see if we can catch any mice. Well, last night was a busy night in the barn. We had both success and failures. Well, actually mostly failures. They didn't go in the oil can trap. They stuck their head in there but didn't drop down. Now the sunflower seeds were tempting and they jumped down in the can, but they had no problem jumping back out, even in the tall can and especially in the short can. Now this was interesting. It went in there, took some seeds, and on the way out it closed, but its head was already out. And it chewed through the opening and made it bigger and squeezed out. So our only success was this one. The mouse went in there, tripped the trigger, and got caught. It's hanging out in the back. Now this design definitely has its flaws. It can go off before the mouse even goes in the can or when it's leaving, but it can work. Because we caught this mouse in a live catch trap, and because it's a native species, a native deer mouse, we're gonna take it out in the wild and let it go. But it might not wanna leave. So I'm gonna sacrifice the can, lose my 10 cents, and cut off the top. Okay, we'll go ahead and set this mouse free. Might not have to cut it out with the scissors. Seems kind of stuck. There we go. Got him. This one has some botflies. I don't know how it squeezed in there. A little lump right there, a little parasite. Okay, go be free. Well, the can mousetrap was a fun idea, but I can see why it never took off. It didn't work very well. It either set off too early, or the mouse could lift the tab and chew through the metal to escape. We only caught 1 out of 3 mice. That's not very good success. So it was fun to try out a novel idea, but it didn't last the test of time. Now for question and answer time, the #1 comment I got was my thumbnail photo. In it, I wasn't wearing a hat and I was wearing glasses. These glasses right here. Now it's kind of funny. I've never worn seeing eyeglasses in my life. I've never even been to the eye doctor. They don't have lenses, but when I found these in the mud along a creek, I washed them up and tried them on, and my kids say they make me look completely different. Now I've been posting videos on YouTube for over 9 years, and in those 9 years, viewers have never seen me take my hat off. So when I was coming up with the idea for the latest thumbnail, I thought I'd completely change my look. I put on the fake glasses, took off my hat, and viewers didn't recognize me. They said, "Who's that guy in the thumbnail?" A lot of people said I look like Bruce Banner, Jim Carrey, or Clark Kent. That's pretty funny, but I got that a lot. I thought it'd be fun to change things up, and man, I got a huge response. Now I'm really excited about next week's video. It's called Kick the Bucket Mousetrap. It's designed for RVs and small spaces, and it's a combination between a rolling log and a quicksand mousetrap, and it works really well, all contained in a bucket. Now thank you so much for all who subscribe to my channel. I've posted almost 600 videos on YouTube, and currently I'm posting new videos every Monday. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider clicking the button right here. And if you want to see the best videos on how to catch mice, rats, squirrels, chipmunks, moles, voles, and gophers, stay tuned.